Good morning. It's May 24th, 2022. I'm Mary Anna Mancuso. This is Mornings with Mancuso. A quick PSA to kick off Mornings with Mancuso. Today is primary day in Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, and Minnesota. If you're in any of those states and you're eligible and registered to vote, please head to the polls. Out of all of the states that have primary elections today, the one state I'm paying attention to the most will be Georgia. I'm watching the governor's race to see how sitting Governor Brian Kemp fares against one-time Georgia Senator David Perdue, who has Trump's endorsement and has been peddling the big lie for 2020 since he got on the campaign trail. Now, the governor's race is showing that we want to see if the conspiracy theory of the election being stolen will actually hold water heading to the polls. We do know some Georgia voters are actually fatigued and they're tired of hearing about us having to relitigate 2020. The truth of the matter is Joe Biden won that race. Now, when it comes to the governor's race showing the momentum of the big lie, we'll also look at another big lie peddler, and that is Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene has a primary election against 5 other Republican candidates, and it will be interesting to see if she can maintain her seat or if she'll suffer an upset the size of Madison Cawthorn that he saw last week. Now remember, Greene hasn't been able to deliver much for her district other than sound bites after being stripped of all of her committee assignments. Speaking of Georgia politics, former Vice President Mike Pence decided to give his endorsement in the governor's race, endorsing incumbent Governor Brian Kemp. Now, as I noted, Brian Kemp is running against David Perdue, who's a former U.S. Senator out of Georgia, who has former President Donald Trump's endorsement. Could this be a shadow race of things to come in 2024? Could we see a primary matchup between Vice President Mike Pence and former President Donald Trump in 2024 for a GOP primary? Maybe. However, it looks like Vice President Mike Pence has already said, by pointedly declining to rule out a run for 2024 against Trump in a GOP primary. He said, quote, "We'll go where we're called," alluding to the fact that him and his wife would be acting on prayer, said every other possible presidential contender in the history of American politics. Friends, just a quick update on the Republican Senate primary in Pennsylvania. Currently, Dr. Oz is leading David McCormick by 977 votes. That's 0.1%. And there are currently up to 5,400 mail-in ballots left to count. This still keeps us in a slim margin, which will continue to keep us in that automatic recount range. So it looks like this Senate primary could go into an automatic recount. Stay tuned for that, friends. And as always, be great. Nothing else pays. I'm Mary Anna Mancuso. This is Mornings with Mancuso.